Hello, I'm Paul Pluta, and welcome to the Paul Pluta channel. You might remember me as ArchieLuxury, and that is one of the characters that I do play, but for the time being, I'd like to be Paul Pluta. So I'm on the Paul Pluta channel, and I want to talk about the 3 greatest wristwatches of all time. The 3 greatest watches. And I've got to tell you, the 3 greatest watches, what are they? What are they? Well, let's start with the greatest wristwatch. And I say greatest, this is because it is the highly desired, highly usable. It's an icon, it's a classic. This watch basically invented the sports watch genre, and this watch was made famous in the James Bond movie. What am I talking about? There can be none other than the Rolex Submariner. Now, I don't care whether it's the date version, the no date, steel, two-tone, solid gold. I don't care whether it's a vintage plastic, a 1680 with date, a 5513, 5512. Doesn't matter. I don't care if it's a sapphire. Doesn't matter. The Rolex Submariner. That is the greatest luxury watch of all time. I mean, let's be honest. It's not the most expensive. There's complications from Patek. It's not the dressiest. It's not the most functions. It's not the most features. But when you say Rolex in the modern era, it used to be the Datejust. But now, it's really the Submariner. The Submariner. Now, I would also, as I've said, doesn't matter if it's steel, two-tone, or solid gold. It also, I would even add there that it doesn't matter whether it's a sea dweller, a deep sea. That's still in that Submariner sort of, because the first sea dweller was a Submariner sea dweller. So it's sort of an extension of that family brand. The Submariner, the most famous Rolex. It is the most usable. It is, James fucking Bond wore one. Does it get grander than that? James Bond, the suave, sophisticated in the Bryony suit. Does it get better than that? And you can wear it for work. You can wear it at your wedding. You can wear it on trial for fraud and embezzlement. You can wear it at a brothel. In fact, the Submariner is the ultimate brothel watch because you can time her. When you get into it, you paid the money, you're in the room, click, you just turn the bezel, it times how long you've been. So if you've got 30 minutes, you know how long you got. The Submariner is also the ultimate brothel watch because you don't have to take it off. You can have a shower. She's not going to pinch the fucking thing because it's waterproof. You can take a shower with it on. Can't do that with a chronograph. Well, you shouldn't because you could fuck it up. So, that is number 1 position. The Rolex Submariner. The greatest sports wristwatch of all time. Now, number 2 place. Number 2. What is number 2? Number 2 is the... What's number 2 place on our list here of the 3 greatest wristwatches of all fucking time? It's the Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. Man on the fucking moon. That's right, ArchieLuxury made that one famous. Very, very, very famous. very famous. The Omega Speedmaster, man on a fucking moon. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I don't care whether you have the 3-2-1 movement, the 8-6-1, the 1-8-6-1 movement. I don't care whether you've got the Sapphire Sandwich, the Hauser-like glass. You need a Speedmaster. Speedmaster. Now, I could say professional, but the early Speedmasters were not the professional, and they've actually got the 3-2-1 movement, and they are actually the greatest one ever made. I'd even include the Broad Arrow. The Broad Arrow is just superb. And, you know, what would I say? You could even say the Omega Speedmaster 57. Even though it's got a coaxial movement, it's not quite the same tie-in, but the Omega Speedmaster. Did we go to the moon? Who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter. And I gotta say, the Omega Speedmaster, it's just such an iconic watch. It's probably the greatest sports chronograph of all time. The greatest sports chronograph. And, I mean, that's pretty amazing, considering that it's a manual wind watch. I mean, most punters out there don't really like manual wind. It's an acquired taste, like fancy cheese with that blue shit in it, you know? It's an acquired taste. It's like you Americans driving a stick car. Ah, it's got a stick! Yes, it has a fucking stick. Same thing with the Omega Speedmaster. I kind of think, you know, I don't think it matters which one you go for. Personally, I got the Hauser-like glass one, the more modern invitation, the 1-8-6-1. The 8-6-1 is actually, it's probably a little bit more desirable. But I think those Omega Speedmasters, they are amazing. It's the greatest sports watch. Now, admittedly, Omega did a few nasty things. A column wheel chronograph in the 3-2-1. They lost it to a cams chronograph in the 8-6-1. What a big fuck up that was, hey? Yes, that was a bit of a unsavory. The fucking accountants. The fucking nasty accountants. That's who did that shit. Nasty, vicious fucking accountants. They are the meanest cunters on earth. And, I mean, the Omega Speedmaster, it's probably the greatest. The thing is that it came out in the 50s, late 50s, 42 mil. Fuck, that was huge at the time. All the men were wearing fucking 33 mil fucking dress watches. Puffy dress watches. And, that's the whole thing. The, 42 mil. It's aged gracefully. It hasn't really changed. See, Omega tried to kill it off. It's like the Porsche 911. They had the 928. That was supposed to take over from the 911, but Omega had the Omega Speedmaster Professional Mark II. It was supposed to be the new revolutionized version. NASA was too lazy to test it. They said, oh, we already got the Speedmaster. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, no, we got the Swiss. Could you imagine the Swiss coming on the door? Hello, NASA, we got a new... we don't give a fuck. We've been to the moon. We've done this. We've done that. We don't give a fuck. I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered even testing it. That's how vicious NASA was to the Swiss. The Americans. The ultimate in arrogance. So the Omega Speedmaster is the greatest chronograph of all time. The greatest sports chronograph of all time. Okay, number 3. The third greatest wristwatch of all time. What could it be? What could it be? And there can only be one. It's the Jaeger-LeCoultre. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. The Reverso. And I love it. I love a Reverso. I've always loved my Reverso. I have the Reverso Grand Date. That's been the one that I personally have had, the Reverso Grand Date. But I'm not saying you need to have a Grand Date. In my opinion, you could have a, I think the Reverso works best in steel. It also works best with the manual wind movement. It works best on a leather strap. See, the Reverso Someone said, oh, I don't want a dress watch. No, hang on a minute. Look at the heritage to this fucking thing. This was a sports watch for, you can't get much more pompous than British polo players in the colonies, in fucking India. In India. These were the time when the Brits were real cunts to the Indians. Pouncing around on horses in the midday sun. You heard that song, Mad Dogs and Englishmen Go Out in the Midday Sun. Well, that's the same sort of place where you'd wear your reverso. That's where you'd wear your reverso. And the watch snob said the ArchieLuxury Reverso is the greatest dress watch of all time. That's what he said. He said it. So it must be true. The Reverso, one of the greatest watch. It's got a sporting heritage. So it's a true sports watch, but in a modern sense, it's now become a beautiful dress watch. And we'll just flip it. See, my one has the display back there. The display back. So it's not actually protecting it like it was when these British were pouncing around in the colonies. It's not quite the same, but you understand what I mean. The ArchieLuxury, the Reverso. It's one of the greatest watches of all time. And I'd say it's probably the greatest dress watch. It's a modern watch. You can wear it. It's so fucking versatile. Okay, it's not waterproof, but because it's got that back, you can wear it in everyday work environment. For the corporate warriors there, all the drones out there. So I reckon that could be the go. That can be the go. The ArchieLuxury Reverso. I reckon that is one of the great watches of all time. So I've picked three pieces there. And it doesn't matter whether it's in steel, gold, or two-tone. These are cool pieces. And I gotta tell you, the Reverso, what a cool piece. Manual wind. It uses the golden ratio. That if you look at your Greek mythology, this is what is perfection. That ratio of length by width. It's that certain ratio which the Romans perfected. You know, those ones they're the guys who the society crumbled when they went into all these vicious orgies and stuff like that. But the Reverso, it's just a classic, a modern day classic. It's Art Deco. So it shows inept taste. See, you know, Art Deco is such a cool thing. I've even got an Art Deco tea towel. Look at this. The Art Deco tea towel. Because it's so cool. This is from the Art Deco Napier, New Zealand. This is the Art Deco style. So, you know, the king who abdicated, you know, King Edward, he had a two-tone Reverso. What a fucking cool watch. Anyone who'd give up the throne for a woman, what type of watch would they wear? A Reverso. It's so cool. It is so cool. The Reverso, I mean, it's just so cool. And I gotta tell you, a good friend of mine was selling a Patek, and Tom Bolt turns up, the famous UK watch guru, and my friend had a Reverso on. Tom Bolt just looked at the Reverso and he knew this guy was in the Illuminati. You know, he just knew, oh, you're in the crowd. Oh, nice Reverso. Oh, you know, that is how fucking cool it is. The Reverso's not to get the cheap birds at the bar. No. They don't even understand what a Reverso is. But if you want a piece which says to other collectors, I know my fucking shit, nothing does it like a Reverso. Nothing fucking does it, fuckers. And that is the reality. So, there you go. I've concluded these are the three greatest wristwatches of all time. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. I'm really interested to hear what you think. I'm Paul Pluta, reporting for the Paul Pluta channel. The Paul Pluta channel. Please let me know, and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much, fuckers. Nasty fuckers.
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we do in the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.